why Mopars suck. Right? Now I could say that because, you know, I'm a Mopar guy, but I'm also a realist. And in a lot of ways, these old cars do suck. You'll talk to old timers, people who were around back in the day, the 70s and the 80s, when these things were all over the place. And mostly like Chevy guys, they'll curse you at you. Tell them, so what, you like Mopars? No, I'll never work on another one of those things. They're terrible, a piece of shit. There's reasons for it. There's reasons for it. And Josh is finding out what those reasons are. Now do you understand why I kind of snickered at you in a sadistic way when I says, nah, I don't want to do the transmission. You can do it.
Yeah, so essentially, so when you do a transmission job on a big block with undercar headers, so you not only are you doing a transmission job, you're doing a header job and a starter job all at the same time.
All right, so let me explain why this is, okay? Because Mopars have a torsion bar front suspension. Everything else has coil springs. Mopars have a torsion bar. And I did a video not too long ago about why Mopars were awesome. And I talked about the torsion bar suspension. And it is, in my opinion, it's a superior suspension setup. But when it comes to packaging, especially when you're talking about a big block, especially a 440 in an A or a B body, and you want to put headers on it, oh, bro, forget about it. It's a nightmare. And Josh is finding himself in the 8th. Is this the 8th circle of hell or the...
It's really far down.
It's really far down.
There is a special place just for doing this.
Right. So in order to take the transmission out of this car, to get to the transmission bolts around the sides, the headers have to come out. To take the headers out, well, even before you do that, just changing spark plugs on one of these things is, and routing spark plug wires. So here, you're working on this side right now.
Yep. So I've got 3 out, and I've got one that's hidden right here underneath this tube.
Right.
And so the back one I had to go underneath the car.
Yeah.
These 2 I was able to get from the top.
Yeah, you can reach underneath the alternator and get those.
But the third one, I don't have enough leeway here, and I can't get to it from underneath. So I'm still trying to figure out how to get that third spark plug out.
Okay, you use a 13/16 box wrench from underneath, and you have to work between this tube. You can only go like a flat or 2 at a time, and then once you've got it broken, you can get it up by finger. But yeah, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. But this is the easy side.
Yeah.
This is the side that really doesn't give you any problems. Okay, it's this side. So the header is already out of here now, right? And you can get an idea. Everything has to fit through this area right here. So here's your power steering box. Power steering and headers, undercar headers on a Mopar it's a bad idea. It's just a bad idea. Don't do it, right? But this one already has it. So the whole setup has to fit between the engine and the steering box, and of course the steering column, and of course it's removed from the car now, but you've got the kickdown linkage, and this car is column shift, so you've got the column shift linkage on top of that too. And then the crowning glory of this whole setup right here is the starter. Why Mopars suck. I'm going to show you why Mopars suck. So you want to change the starter on your 440 GTX, and then you've got headers. So the way the starter is laid into the header right now is the way you have to take it in and out of the car. You cannot just remove the starter. The starter has to be cradled into the header, and then the header has to come down and out the bottom of the... So there's no such thing as just simply changing a starter on this. It's an exhaust job, it's a header job, and you've got to contend with all of those things. This is the column shift assembly.
Yep.
So this all has to be pulled out, and then you've got the kickdown linkage that runs right to the side of that, a little bit to the front, and that has to be taken out too. All to do a simple starter job. Now on the upside of this, it's a good thing he had to pull it out, because look at this positive battery cable. You were right there. You were about to get stuck with this.
Yep.
It's down to just the last couple of wires. The insulation is all toast. I mean, what do you want? It's a 53-year-old piece of wire that's been under a car for a long time. So the moral of the story here is that if you've got one of these setups, invest in the best starter. Don't just don't get any new start. Invest in the best starter you can afford, because you never want to do this. Back in the day, we used to have to do this kind of thing like on the side of the road, in parking lots, in a driveway, in rain, in snow. This was like a fact of life. This is why Mopar guys, you notice Mopar guys were a little touched, okay? We're not all there. And this is exactly why, because this kind of thing was a fact of life to us growing up, and we did it constantly, all the time. So to be fair to Josh, if this was like really any other car, or if it had exhaust manifolds, this thing would have been out and on the ground already. But he's dealing with the situation with headers. This is also why back in the day so many people went to fender well headers, because this situation is not, is not happy. Getting to the spark plugs, routing the spark plug wires so that they're away from the headers and everything, even like just to do simple tuning things, like you want to take this to the track and you want to do a plug read on it, forget about it. It's a nightmare. What would normally take you like on a small block, it take you with headers, with anything, it doesn't make a difference. It takes you less than a minute to pop the plugs out. With this, it's a job, because each spark plug has its own situation that requires its own setup, its own socket, and then this one gets an extension, and this one has to be done with a box wrench, and this one has to be got from this way and that way. Forget about it. If it's a driver, do yourself a favor, stick with the exhaust manifolds. And even they're a nightmare on this, but it's better than dealing with the headers. And if you're building a hot rod, forget this undercar stuff. Fender wells. I know you're going to chop up a clean car to put fender well headers in it. Well, I'm telling you, it's a much better deal. Fender well headers turn this into a happy situation. It's easy to access everything, the spark plugs, the starter, and the whole bit. And then while we're here talking about spark plugs, I got to show you this. So these are the plugs he just pulled out of this car. So now these plugs are only about 6 months old, 7 months old.
Yeah,
or thereabouts, give or take. Okay, look at the rust. Look at the rust. It's actually got pitting rust on it. That plug looks like it's been in there for decades, but that plug has only been in there for, like I said, 6 months, 7 months, something like that. The rust is horrendous. This is like just another example of quality control. Today's quality control just going right out the window. Now, Josh, before we go any further, people are going to be like, he's laying parts all over the car. Why does he put fender covers on it? These guys are hacks. These guys are butchers. What's wrong with them? Burn them at the stake. Hang them.
You said Mopar guys were a little touched. I mean,
we are a little touched.
I mean,
yeah.
But this is my cruiser. This is my going to town rig, right? Like, I'm adding patina. I'm adding history.
You're adding patina, exactly. And here's his pile of these are fasteners that didn't quite make it. That's not bad. That's a nice assortment.
Yeah, there's that and a bunch of lab gas to go with it, but yeah.
There'll be more. So you guys are patiently waiting to find out what's going to happen inside the transmission of this thing. We'll finish pulling this out tonight, and we'll have it on the bench either tomorrow or the next day. I don't know. Are you going to be around tomorrow?
Probably tomorrow evening, probably.
Okay, he'll be around tomorrow. And we've got the return of Buff Del Campo. He's done with his super secret government work in Area 75 or Area 89 or somewhere, whichever area he's at, where they have the really secret stuff. Well, Buff is done with that, and he's back, and he's going to start working on that Turbo Valiant that we had started on earlier this year. So there'll be updates on that as we go along too. So that's it for now. Yeah, they suck. Go ahead, say it. Mopars suck. I'm with you. I'm right there. I'll see you tomorrow.